Today, let's dive into a relatable topic. What do you do when someone who rejected you in the past suddenly wants back into your life?
How do you deal with girls who rejected you in their prime but come back to you when they're nearing their 30s while being complete failures in life? In my early 20s, I used to like this girl a lot. I would sometimes take her out for dinner and movies. I'm not a simple person by any means. I saw this as me getting experience since at that age I was pretty socially inept. Eventually, I ended up telling her I liked her and she rejected me, and then sometime later even made jokes in front of me about how I was unattractive, which was a low blow considering we were friends then. Well, time went on and now we're both in our late 20s, and now she's desperately trying to get back into my life to the point where sometimes she calls my mother to ask about me. I just ignore it because it's pointless to put too much thought into it. But then I start to think about the whole situation and realize how odd it is. She'd always say how she wasn't looking to get in a relationship, but then would date a different guy every couple of months. Every time I think about it, I actually get kind of upset. Friends of mine tell me that I should give her a chance and mess around until I find something better, but I have too much pride. Anyone else in a similar situation?
Remember, it's important to value yourself and make choices that align with your self-respect and well-being. Have you ever been in a similar situation? How did you handle it? Let's hear some of the thoughts and experiences in the comments section.
Not wanting to date you is one thing. Making jokes to your face that you're ugly, completely another. Questionable character. Edit. She was never your friend. Friends don't say things like that. She just kept you around because she liked the attention. Wholeheartedly agree with this assessment. I would avoid messing around with her as well. She may or may not be the type to baby trap you, particularly if you are, or were previously, the only consistent man in her life. Sounds vaguely like a brat taming deal. Some women like to play rough with guys, but will completely flip the script on a guy who will put her in her place, then she is the one who pursues him. Odds are she is now feeling rejected after the attention has stopped, and she is trying to win him back. And especially because OP won't give her attention, that she feels like going all in. The only way this works is if she is honest and upfront about her desire for it, and if she can compartmentalize it into a role-playing thing. If she can't do that, the brattiness bleeds into everything, including meeting the parents or becoming a parent. That's the neat part. You don't. That's the perks of when they show their true colors and go scorched earth. Can't come back if they don't leave any way of reconnecting. If you view her as a complete failure in life, then your current approach of ignoring her advances via your mother seems best for everyone involved. Even made jokes in front of me about how I was unattractive. You really cannot figure out why OP might be bitter. She doesn't deserve anything. He's bitter because she treated him like shit. She was rude, disrespectful, and abusive to him. Like, damn. You could not have outed yourself any harder. Tell me you're a selfish and entitled woman, without telling me you're a selfish and entitled woman. Edit. Oh look, she's a 304 posting nudes on the internet. She's the exact type to be like this girl. Surprise, surprise. It is not something that happens a lot, but I've been there. I don't do that. I have principles. I say don't do it. Have some class. You can't let someone walk over you and then reward them for that. It is on the code. Don't compromise your dignity. Absolutely. I doubt she actually respects him more now. Yeah, this should be a pretty simple answer. Don't. Obviously, there are exceptions in every scenario. But the way the post reads, and the framing of everything, the answer is obvious. This is just bait for bitter, dejected men. I should know. You can help her with some character growth and ask her, why now? What makes me good enough for you now? Then just let her answer so she can hear herself speak about her motivations in life or partner seeking and say, thank you for explaining, but I'm not interested, goodbye. And then go on your merry way, king. Agreed. There is simply no explanation that would be good enough. Girls that rejected me in their prime never came back this way. What is their prime anyway? I know a girl that's in her late 20s and she is making bank, but she has no BF. She wants someone as successful as she is, but she's working 2 jobs, easily clearing $200,000. I feel like people usually get better as they age when they accumulate wealth, and if they take care of themselves.
Dealing with people who return to you after previously rejecting you can be challenging. It's important to assess whether they are genuinely interested in you as a person now, or if they are motivated by their current situation. Let's keep reading.
People are in their prime when they have the most options available to them. When that depends on the person. 30s are most people's prime. Both genders. This idea that women are barren nasty hags at age 30 while men are glorious isn't helping anyone, especially young men in their 20s who believe that time will magically transform them into someone desirable to women while time reduces women to nothing. It's magical delusional thinking. Honestly, ignore her. It's possible that she changed her opinion of you entirely, but my guess would be that she messed up and now she thinks you're a safe bet until she finds someone better than you. She doesn't want to be alone, probably has some issues that lead to other men not wanting to date her, etc. And because you told her that you liked her, she thinks she can be with you until these issues don't exist anymore, or she finds someone who'll ignore the issues. Most likely it's not going to end well for you. And if you've got some self-respect left, you probably shouldn't date the girl who made jokes about how unattractive you were, even if it was true at the time, and you had a glow up since then. You don't need failures in your life. You should never give a chance to people like her. Treat her like a party guest, polite, but not lingering. You deserve someone who values you from the start. So like a party guest, can he bang her once or twice then ghost her? Do you want to be with her? You said no. Then the answer is simple. Tell her to fuck off and to stop harassing your family. Surprised I had to scroll a bit for the stop harassing family advice. It's pretty weird that she's called OP's mom multiple times to ask about him. Even if OP wanted to get back with her, it feels like a telltale sign that she could be controlling and could explain why she bounced around guys when they were friends. You don't need failures in your life. You should never give a chance to people like her. Avoid this woman as if she was highly radioactive. Back then hoes didn't want me, now I'm hot, hoes all on me. Abraham Lincoln. Happened to me after my failed marriage. For added context, she crawled many a lot of times beforehand, many of which I was taken. Don't know why she kept trying, but her being a dishonest, cheating type of person must be usable to know that her choices won't find an average loyal person. A woman gets one chance. If she rejects me or the relationship fails, there is no going back. If she's a train wreck who needs that nonsense anyway, ignore her advances and she'll move on to some other guy she thinks is a sucker. But doesn't it depend on the context? Like I've had men who were not interested in me when I was fat and then into me when I was slim. I wasn't offended by that as long as they were kind to me all along. They just didn't find me attractive, then they did because I changed. I don't find that insulting. I wasn't sexy. They didn't want to fuck me. I looked hotter. They did. Attraction isn't something you can control. Edit. Don't date people who are dicks though. It's fine to reject someone. That's not even rude. But being unkind and calling someone unattractive? Only date kind people. The rest aren't worth it. Oh, this shit happens all the time. Reject you from 18 to 25. On 27 or 28, they randomly hit you up because they see all their friends getting married. And remember that this loser had a thing for me back in the day. One of my brothers fell for that trap. Now he is paying alimony and child support to her and her new young BF that she likes. Don't fall for it, fellas. Deleted. Tell her you had the chance to have me and now that's gone. I was in a similar situation at 16. I really like this girl badly. We used to do a lot together. I told her I like her. She was like, "Oh, you know, we're only friends." We had a joke at that age too that if we was both single at 30 we should get together. All through our 20s we remained friends. I started to like her less, so I was more than happy to be her friend. Sometime in our late 20s she brought up the single at 30 thing as we both are. After being fucked over by several guys, she's now bringing that back up, but the tables turned as I've now been friends with her that long I'm not even attracted to her anymore.
Approach the situation with empathy and clear boundaries to protect your emotional well-being. Ultimately, the decision should be based on mutual respect and the current compatibility between both parties. Let's see what others would say.
Let me guess. You are a decent guy who earns a good income and is slightly above average looks-wise. The above guy gets ignored at 20 when hot guys are the rage, but are sought after at 30 when normal guys are in vogue. They are also harder for a woman to find than we realize. I wouldn't go out with her based on her nasty, unattractive comment. She sounds immature. Find a decent woman. Yeah, I doubt she is suddenly physically attracted to him after being blunt about finding him ugly. She is looking to use him for some other reason. Could be that he has money or is simply financially stable, emotionally supportive. She finds him easy to control, believes he's too unattractive to have the chance to cheat on her, etc. None of those things mean she is sexually attracted to you. It's how you end up in a dead bedroom. I'm a dude who's decidedly average looking but stays reasonably fit, makes a good living, and owns a home. The number of women who straight up insulted my looks and work ethic in the past, desperately hitting on me in front of my wife, is absurd. Being alone in their 30s must be hitting them hard. You're doing the right thing. If she rejected you, harshly, back in the old days, why should you give her a chance now? It's ridiculous. And yes, something like this happened to me too. She was very friendly and polite in her rejection, but it was still a rejection back when we were in college. She rejected me in favor of the bad boy. Well, bad boy's gonna bad boy. So, about 10 years after a few trips to the ICU, shitting out a bunch of kids that she can't afford and getting abandoned by the bad boy, gosh, nobody could have predicted that. She sent me a DM on Facebook. It even started with, "Hey stranger." What a cliche. She's desperate to find anybody to bail her out. And she's discovering that the market is pretty soft, plus 30 years old single moms of multiple kids with shady exes lurking in the background. She gets a lot of fuck and chuck, but nobody is willing to put a ring on it. I can only imagine how many guys she threw herself at before DMing me. And yes, I rejected her. She made her bed. Now, she can sleep in it. Alone. Move on, dude. I ignore them. If I've made it clear that I'm available and interested, and they reject me for someone else, and then try to come back to me later on when their relationship didn't work, no thanks. I'm not gonna sit around and wait to be someone's second or third option. Sounds toxic to me. I would avoid it completely. If you live on an island with less than 49 people, maybe. Otherwise, tell her you remember what she actually thought of you.
As we wrap up, your worth is not defined by someone else's change of heart. It's okay to prioritize your own happiness and well-being, even if it means letting go of past connections. Trust your instincts, honor your self-respect, and keep moving forward with confidence. Subscribe for more.